let's go into a little of this. All right, so I wanted to get into a little Star Citizen talk about trading, right? Currently how it is now in game, because we got 1 day left of the Drake Defense Con event where you can rent the Caterpillar. I've been doing a lot of trading. I've got hands on now for the very first time. I've flown a Caterpillar once in the past with a friend, but I've got a lot of hands-on experience with the Caterpillar now, and I'm going from point A to point B, trying to find the best trade routes. It has its fun moments. It has its 30K moments. It feels a little bit jank, and you're like, oh God, please no 30K, please no whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy. But it really got me thinking about what's going on, what we're seeing from the economy. And I want to talk to Rave about exactly how the numbers that we see in the supply and demand side are put into the system. I think right now we're talking just basically cells in a data Excel spreadsheet where economy minded employees over at Cloud Imperium are kind of putting it in there and letting the equation run itself out. We don't have quanta based in there yet, as according to Tony Z from last year's CitizenCon. We are all kind of amazed by a simulated AI algorithm that looked to me, at least from the surface, that it simulated supply and demand to the point where I was like, wait a second, wow, because I have always been about player-driven kind of economies, always. There's no doubt that that's the best way to go about it, and so I was very skeptical about what I was watching until I saw the actual algorithm play itself out, and Tony Z was like, the puppet master, like the dude from the Matrix. And I was just blown away by the presentation. I was like, okay, I'm going to give it a chance. And I will wait to critique or praise it when it is in the game, which is a far way away. But we do have wallet-to-wallet transactions hitting in 3.10, which I am very excited about. I am so excited about that. Some people were like, DG, this should be in every game. I don't know why you're getting so excited. Because I've been talking about it for 20 years. Feels like it. And to see it finally hit feels good. Feels real good. So anyway, then I was like, okay, well, let me look at these ships. I want to see the maximum amount of SCU that I can put in all the ships here, and I want to like break it down. So obviously you got your hull-based ships, which they're having issues with. Okay, so hull-based ships out of the equation. The merchantmen at 3,500 SCUs. That is huge. So many people looking forward to the BMM. So many people looking forward to the Banu merchantmen, right? Look at the amount of SCU that it holds. I mean, that is a ridiculous amount, 3,500 SCUs. When you compare it to what everybody's using right now, Caterpillar at 500, it is 7 times the amount of SCUs. Now that brings about interesting questions like, hey, how in the hell are they going to account for docking a Banu merchantman? Will it only be in space on the new collars that we saw? Is the Banu merchantman, this is information I'm not privy to. Not quite sure if this is going to be one of those types of cap ships that isn't going to be able to be docked planet or moon base side. I think this is going to be like the Banu merchantman's huge. There's no hangar that could hold 7 times a Caterpillar. Think about it. Think about every hangar that you've ever seen before. There's no hangar that can hold 7 times the amount of a Caterpillar anywhere. So it's probably going to be one of those ships that is going to be docked space side. And then some people in chat, like J-Dubs, is saying there is no way the BMM will hold that much. Like maybe we're going to have some type of edit along the way. I mean, like looking at the Javelin's even crazier at 5,400. And we saw that in game, 5,400 SCU. And I'm kind of debating whether what I saw could really hold 54. It was huge. It was one of the largest ships I've ever seen in any game, but 5,400 SCUs. I wish I took a Caterpillar and flew it up next to the Javelin so that I could see that if in fact 10 of the Caterpillars lined up could equal like the cargo space of what we're seeing in the Javelin. This could be information that is old as well. I'm not quite sure how accurate this information is, but it was an interesting thought to me because I'm trying to make the maximum amount of money. And for that, I'm going to plug Ravier over at Galactic Logistics. So I said, what is good trading? What are the variables to make a good trader? Well, especially with 30k's right now, which is a bug that basically disconnects you from the game, disconnects you from your ship, disconnects you from your cargo. So for instance, if you have a lot of money in your cargo and you get a 30k air, we're not talking about credits right now, it's a 30,000 airs, the message that comes up, you get disconnected, you lose your cargo, sorry, you just got X'd on Family Feud. and now you're salty. Now you're upset. And so you got to be careful depending upon the amount of creds that you have in your account balance, right? You got to be very smart about how you go about trading when you first are grinding. Those people that start the game aren't probably going to get a cat right away in any normal circumstance. But now that we have a day or so left, one day, I think hours now, of the defense con, people can rent the Caterpillar. Just be careful. Just be careful and be smart. So I go over to Galactic Logistics by Ravier, and I love him. And he does a lot of work for the community. And I say, okay, let's look at the cost to fill a Caterpillar. I entered a Caterpillar. You can enter any ship up there and it will tell you like how much it costs to fill given your commodity over here. Really cool little app, and it's got a lot of other really cool qualities about it as well that I love to use. So plug to Galactic Logistics. I use it all the time when I trade. It's good stuff. Now that I'm trading with a Caterpillar, it's even more fun. I was using the Freelancer and it was a shame. It was sad. It was sad, the trading that I was doing. Trading with a Caterpillar is like night and day. Like it's a whole new experience. It's wonderful. And I love the ship, and I'm grinding for the credits, the 4.8 million in the game to get the Caterpillar. I'm going to buy it. With persistence happening right now, it's the perfect time because I think I'm hoping they won't do a wipe for a while, but we'll see. We'll see. It's a crapshoot, but I want the ship. So I'm going to grind for the creds to get it. Anyhow, back to the point. We're not going to look at any of the vices because the refresh rates are ridiculously slow, and you can't sell them in mass bulk. But the very first thing that pops up is Laranite. And we can see that 1.5 million will return you 1.7 million. And you get $165,000 return, which is a little over 10%. So the next variable behind like worrying about the 30k airs and getting disconnected, obviously, and is your margin. Like you got to think about your margin and what you're willing to risk. Like what are you willing to lose? Like with a 30k air, do you really, if you don't have the money, do you really want to look at something like Laranite here and put 1.5 million in the hold if, say, you have 1.6 million? Probably not a good idea. So I'm going to put this link down in the highlight when I ship this over to YouTube. And I want people to really look at this list right here, okay, to help you out so that you can get an idea of like the risk versus the reward. Okay, 11% is not a huge margin, right? But for instance, if you have an item that is, you know, really high margin, but low dollar, you might say, okay, well, that's the way to go because obviously I'm making a higher margin, but that's not true because then you're not actually using the maximum amount of your hold for an item. And we're going to go over that. I'll show you examples of that as well. You can see Agresium at 1.3 and you get 1.5 million back. You make 221,000. It's interesting, like these amounts being plugged in by Cloud Imperium right now. I really need to talk to Rave to talk about how exactly this supply and demand is working right now in game. I want those answers. I want to know. So then we see medical supplies at 900,000. 1 million, you only get 80,000. So you actually get like an 8 to 9% return on that. Not so great. So you can continue to go down the list and you can continue to see like the amount of creds it takes up to fill the Caterpillar or whatever ship that you have. And you can look at the overall return as well. So if you look at the overall profit, you can see we're not going to go off of the vices because you can't trade a lot of them. But we can see that the thing that's going to give you the most amount of money in game right now, that is a commodity that's not going to get you busted or a commodity that isn't hard to offload and you have to wait an hour for in order for the system to refresh, is Agresium. Okay, so you're putting in 1.3 million, you're getting out 1.5, you're getting 200k for it. That's pretty nice. Okay, that's a pretty nice haul. And these always change. These always change. I found a nice little, also the third variable. Let's get into the third variable, okay? The third variable is the distance, how long you have to travel. So like I found a really nice chlorine and it was some gases I was trading that only netted me about 20,000, but I was only putting 70,000 credits in. I was getting 20,000 back, and I literally went from Lyria to ArcCorp to Lyria to ArcCorp over and over again. It was like a 15 to 20 minute trip. I was making over 1,000 credits a minute. I was completely happy with that. I didn't really worry about 30K errors because they were so close together. The moon, Lyria, and Arc are very close together, and I was just hop skipping back and forth, and I was making quite a bit of money. Quite a bit. So time involved in traveling is also another variable. So after you stack up all those variables, I hope this kind of helps you or gives you an idea of like what it is that you should be trading. How much capital do you want to put into spend to risk versus your reward? And that's really what this particular highlight that I'm shipping over YouTube is meant to translate to you. Hopefully this helps you guys. And there you go.